Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Diabolical Souls Presents, where we're doing Cyberpunk Edgerunners episode 6. This one's called Girl on Fire. It's me, Gooch, your host, and of course, I have to have my crew with me. And Zach, I'm going to just move you with amateur. Of course, I got the crew with me. Amateur analyst. How are you doing, buddy? How are you?
Doing good, man. I gotta say, I think I've said this before, but that intro is like A tier, man. Really, really good.
Oh, well, thank you, bro. I had fun doing that one. Yeah, so like I've mentioned this in the last episode, Amateur's been with me from day one, so he's like a brother when it comes to doing these animation reviews. So, and then I got Sammy, who is a huge animation buff, so he's like Saturday morning cartoons, Batman. How are you doing, bro?
Good. I'm ready to jump into this one, man. This might be my favorite episode of the series.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Agreed.
And of course, I got to bring the man with the wisdom, the emperor himself, Mr. J. Goodwin. How are you, sir?
I'm more of the creepy uncle that we don't talk about at the family get-togethers.
I was gonna go there, but I'm like, oh, let's just give him.
Oh no, I got that for you. I cover that right now. Yeah. No, I'm with Sammy. This episode, shit got real.
Yeah, it's a great episode. And then, of course, Zach, who's been on a lot of the streams with me here, he's been doing a lot of artwork, and if you stick around to the end, you'll see the character that he's drawing and inking. He's put out some phenomenal artwork, and he does it all live during the show. And you can buy some of these art pieces because we're going to be doing an auction when we're done this series. We're going to get a show together and just auction them all off. So save your money and buy a piece if you want one. So how are you doing, Zach?
Dude, I'm actually pretty good. I'm feeling really good. I'm ready to get right into this. Yaga, yaga, yaga. Let's do this.
And press that mute button. And so before we get into this, I just want to say a huge thanks to everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys rock it every night. Please hit that like button. Please leave a comment. Subscribe, not just only to me, but to everyone on this panel, because everyone here deserves a sub. These guys are great content creators themselves. And the other thing I want to just quickly mention, as I had a brain fart talking and I'm rambling right now, I forgot what I was going to say, but we're going to get into this episide right now. It'll come to me as soon as I get halfway through the episode. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, talk about this.
Oh my God, it's contagious. I'm sorry I gave it to you.
Yeah, I know. No, I love doing these reviews. Oh, at the end of May, I'm gonna be doing Wednesday nights. I'm gonna probably start doing Wednesday night animated movie reviews. And the guys, I've talked to the guys already, and we got a few movies already in kind of set in place. So look for that on Wednesday nights, because I'm really excited to do those. There's a lot of information in those movies too that we could talk about, that they're like historical when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And also, if you don't mind, again, brain fart. Oh, I want to send out to Zach's. If you're watching Zach's, I haven't looked at the in chat. Zach's get better soon, bro. He's going through a really brutal time right now. Let's wish him all the best that he can recover. He's really, really sick, so let's hope he gets better soon. So that being said, let's get into this. This is episode 6, Girl on Fire, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Let's bring it up. There we go. Any comments? Anything you want to guys quickly mention before we start really diving in deep into this?
What did you say before? Shit got real.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
I like the fact that so you had, the events from the last episode where you're starting to get some setup for the, bit out of their depth. Everybody's kind of getting a little on the ragged edge or whatever. This one, it ain't fucking around. There's no transition or anything like that. It's bang, here you go, right in the middle of it, and kind of explains, you're kind of catching up to what's happening in the episode, for probably the first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. A quick shout out to everyone in the chat before we get started. Nosferatu. If I hear any gay commie Canadian takes, I'm reporting the stream. It wouldn't be Nos if he didn't say anything. Thanks, Nos, for joining us. He is like the cyberpunk encyclopedia. He lets us know everything that's going on. This guy, man, he loves the cyberpunk. And then we got Jamma. Thanks for joining us, Jamma. Thanks for showing up again. You're always one of the consistent followers that watch our shows. We have the man himself, Jamma, or Sammy in the chat. Nos is like, just, bro, thank you. He likes the intro. I appreciate that. Okay. Well, Zach's is here. So Bloss' favorite Netflix series, Netflix show since Cowboy Bebop remake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nos loved that live action abomination.
He was like, "This is for me."
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Nos is in prime form tonight. Gooch looks beautiful and also in the midst of his midlife crisis with his blue American Apparel hoodie. Sexy bastard. Thanks, Nos. Zach's get better, brother. I've been talking to him today. I just hope he gets better soon. So
I hope you were doing the talking and he wasn't doing any of it, because
no, just sending some messages. Yeah, like he was off trying to figure out what was going on. So I really hope he gets better soon. So we got over 20 people already in the watching us, which half and half. 8 on YouTube and 12 on X. If you guys could, if you're on X, jump onto YouTube if you can. You don't have to. But jump on, get into the chat. It'd be great. Leave some comments, hit the like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. So starting this episode, we start off with like kind of a flashback. We see a younger Maine jogging with a radio playing in the background, as we see here. And he's just like it seems like he's kind of trying to run to something. And there's like a skyscrapers in the distance that he's trying to run to. And I
love the idea of this highway too. So
yes,
it's like straight out of the video game. It's basically like, so there was supposed to be the super highway connecting these mega cities, and there was the promise of all this prosperity that was going to happen along it. But like everything that big corporate does, once the public interest faded, they just stopped paving it abruptly. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like this is almost Maine's, like he goes back to this sort of, not a happy place, but it's almost like the thing that fuels his hatred, because it's just like this meaningless, like futile freaking highway. It just represents everything he hates. And like, I'm not an anime aficionado by any stretch, but I feel like a lot of the scenes in this episode, this one in particular, it almost feels like an older style of anime, like something maybe from the 80s or 70s even. It looks phenomenal, and it's very stylistic.
It does have some kind of Akira vibe to it, but I wouldn't say it's like has that full. Go ahead there, Jay.
So it has. There's definitely a mix of like heavy metal, especially on the faces of some of the characters we'll encounter later. This is like a late 70s French style where you've got kind of this big backdrop and a pretty simple character sitting within it. I mean, but this one is interesting because Amateur's right. It changes styles and really introduces some styles that it hasn't, other than in passing, really hasn't engaged with in the prior episodes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're right. There is some heavy metal like artwork in there, like especially at the end. But I with this episode here, I got a lot of Akira kind of vibes. Just the way the battle scenes were kind of going there.
Yeah, a bit of Ghost in the Shell. Not
Ghost in the Shell. That's
not quite as cinematic, but pushing it to that point.
Yeah,
even Kill la Kill. You could even say that one.
Yeah,
not to like when I say that, I just mean like the way the scenes are set up and the way they play out, not the art style itself. Like when when you're talking art style itself, this is kind of got its unique style of its own. You could see blends from different types of anime in there, but
Yeah, it's not direct copies of the styles, but
yeah.
it rhymes a lot with them.
Yeah, that's a good. Oh, wow, that was really put well. Rhymes. I like that. So, yeah, we get to this part right here where Main kind of just stops, and then you start to hear Dorio's voice, and Main just kind of snaps out of it, and she's talking to him like, "Did you snarf anything? Like, did you eat anything?" Because he's been unable to focus, and you're trying to figure out what's happening with him, and he's shaking. He can't even hang on to this box of noodles, Chinese noodles. Dorio's talking to him, worried and concerned. She's like wanting him to lose all that chrome. He's got so much chrome on him, like he's completely chromed right up. And she's actually saying, like, when this is all done, like as you can see right here with the subtitles, when it's all over, we got to refit and go lights back and reduce your load, because his nerves are just getting like kaputsy.
Yeah, and he's in the opposite frame of mind at this point, because it's just like one more big job. That's always the way it is with these criminal type stories, like the criminal family stories. Even Red Dead Redemption 2, you're always one big job away from retirement. It's the mentality, but you always get consumed before you get there, obviously. But
yeah,
I gotta say, watching Main, because Main's my favorite character in this show for sure. And watching him go through this cyber psychosis, going from the Main that we know, this totally in control, cool, whatever mentor kind of guy, to completely vulnerable and has no control over his faculties at all. Like it's an important aspect of Cyberpunk that we don't really get that great of a look into in the game, not as well as it is in this episode. I don't think.
Yeah, and I
we
think
just sort of see people at full cyber psychosis. We don't see like the cookie trail that led us there, right?
Yeah, that's the thing that I really appreciate in this one is he's going in and out, right? So he's aware of kind of what's happening and what's going on. That's a lot more tragic than just somebody that just snaps and then they're gone, right?
It's almost like Alzheimer's or something like that.
Right. It's like having moments of clarity, and that makes it worse for him.
Yeah, it's like schizophrenia. It actually reminds me of someone I knew with schizophrenia, and they were just like, they would have these manic episodes and they don't remember it. And it's like, wow, that was me. I did that. And it's like, oh, wow. Okay, that hits close to home. That's kind of crazy.
When I see this episode, I think of Fear and Loathing Las Vegas at points too. Like like he's just like, he has these sober moments, like they're very rare, but like, and then he doesn't even know what's real and what's complete fantasy. Like it's just, and you're seeing that with Main, where he's
you're seeing it through Main's eyes. That's the other great thing.
Yeah, it's like even him looking at Dorio here, and she's talking to him, and then all of a sudden he glitches, and then it's David. And he's like, when you're watching it, you're like, what? Like you're kind of thrown off. You're like, well, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's what I loved about this. It was like 5 minutes or so in before you start to really get a grasp of what's going on.
And just I was gonna say, look at the look on David's face, just concern and
well, it's like the dude that everyone's relying on isn't
but I'm saying
in control anymore. It's like, oh fuck, and he's also gigantic.
It was the first still, or it was the still that you had up originally, and it was just, it's kind of just like like I've seen that look on people's face where you're just you don't want to say what's going on out loud, but like something's wrong, and it's just even in animation, it's hard to watch.
In this scene, he's actually mistaking Dorio for David, right?
Yeah,
right. So
like he's bouncing back and forth,
right? Yeah. And the thing is that like when you look at David, his reactions, his face, and all this stuff don't match up to the level of concern that Dorio has, right? It's like he's not even picking up on the emotions that she's laying down. He's just hearing words, and then he starts spinning them in his own head.
What's up, Jacob? Thanks for joining us, bro.
And a touch that I really like in this episode that we'll see more and more is that his glasses are like a hologram and they keep glitching out. I really like that.
Well, he gets like he gets short tempered, like you would see someone with dementia, and like they really do this character really well.
Yes.
Well, the cyber psychosis they do really well. So yeah, he's snapping at Dorio, and then Falco just watching the whole thing go down. As Kiwi's in the tub, she's in an ice bath, and as she's deep diving into Tanaka to collect the data that Faraday wants. And so as they're watching Kiwi do this, like she's jacked into kind of like
it's like a hardcore version
Matrix.
of a brain dance.
Dance. Well, even it's kind of like why can I not think of the movie with Keanu Reeves?
I said The Matrix.
The Matrix. Yes, thank you, buddy. The Matrix. Like she's like completely jacked in, but jacked into another person, right? Like
yeah, so isn't it kind of like Johnny Mnemonic?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Johnny Mnemonic. I forgot about that film. Holy crap. Yeah, something like that. And
the first half of that film is amazing, by the way.
It is.
And then it falls to shit.
Second half, not so much.
Yeah.
Is that iced tea? Holy fuck.
Yeah. No, but it's very much that, and then you get to this really interesting part, and I won't spoil it, of who they're jacking into.
Yes. So like they're diving into Tanaka, trying to
You can say it.
grab the data, and as I'm just going through the chat here, trying to do 5 things at once, and Kiwi's doing the job, and then you see Kiwi inside of Tanaka trying to break through some of the little traps that he has in there inside, and which is a cool scene. And then we see her getting knocked out, and she's lying on the floor. Her face is bashed in. Now the black screens you're seeing through Main's eyes here, so you're seeing kind of like an audience view, and then you're going right back to Main's view as he's like looking through and sees Kiwi on the floor with her face bashed in
and doesn't know what happened.
Yeah, he's completely clueless what's happening here, and he's thinking that someone came into the room and attacked him, and Dorio's just like winded and doesn't know what the hell to do, and then Falco just knocks Main right out.
I love that part because it's just like he doesn't know what's happened. Everyone's just sort of like in this emotional state and can't really respond to him yet because they're like trying to process like, what the fuck, dude? This guy just answers them with his fist.
I was really off-put seeing Kiwi with her mask off.
Yeah, some people take COVID way too seriously.
Yeah,
like, face your whole face with the mask.
I think she really should have cut back on the chewing tobacco, like maybe 10 years prior. Yeah.
Zax is trying to help me out by saying my own Private Idaho.
I think Zax is actually trying to get you to say gay Canadian things because Private Idaho most assuredly is one of those movies.
Adam, thanks for joining us, bro. Thank you. So yeah, getting back to this, we see Falco knock out Bane, and then it just jumps ahead where we see David and Lucy in the apartment. They're kind of resting up,
airing his balls out at the window.
Yeah, his greasy balls at the window.
Yeah,
and then we see Falco, and I guess Falco is showing up to ask him to get to the go help out Dorio and figure out how to get the data. And this goes really fast because this is where you kind of get lost real quick because it's really paced quickly.
Well, I think the episode's trying to make you feel as sort of confused and
frantic.
And frantic as Main is, which it does a brilliant job at.
Yes.
Like the scene gives you the answer to the question you have, but no one actually says the answer out loud, which is nice. So a lot of it's like very subtly brought across.
Yeah, you're having to piece
Yeah,
it
it doesn't-
together,
it
and
doesn't
you're
hold
only
your
getting
hand.
these little slices.
Yeah,
right?
and they give you all the pieces though, which is just great.
Right.
You know, a lot of shows try this, and they just give you like one big dumb piece at the end, and then they explain it again, in case you missed it.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
like,
Ryan
fuck
Johnson.
off.
That's called the Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
No, Zach doesn't know what the hell happened in the last scene. He's not explaining anything at the end.
Yeah, no, but he needs one big exposition dump somewhere.
That everybody goes, what the fuck was that? None of that happened. What are you talking about?
And then there's 5 Snyder brothers in the back, like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You have
So
to read 6 books to understand these references. Oh, okay.
So this-
then.
so this part here is where Dorio is kind of stepping up, taking charge of the mission right now, as Maine is in the backdrop, and he's just snarly and kind of bitchy because he has no idea what's going on with himself, and she's kind of asking Lucy to jump in and get the data from Tanaka. She doesn't like it's a weird sequence here because she's like she doesn't want to do it, but she knows she has to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because the way she says I can't believe she's saying I can't believe this shit, I don't want to do this, but then she's like I got to do this, and David's like comforting her and just kind of being there for her, which is I think she's never really experienced that just by her like response here.
Yeah, she reacts strange.
Well, the
Yeah.
interesting thing is like the whole team, absent David, are really stressed out and kind of on the ragged edge, right? And it's almost like something happened between episodes that we missed, but turned all their adrenaline up, hardcore, and now we're just kind of, experiencing it at this moment through David. And yeah, so she asks stuff because she's definitely in an uncomfortable place, right? And which really makes everybody kind of perk up as the audience because she's really been the one that always kind of has it together, right? Cool customer knows what's going on, but she's amped up and worried about doing stuff, which makes you worry about it as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like Nosferatu says, it's not that he doesn't know what's going on. He's slightly embarrassed as well, as too prideful to admit he can't handle the load. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it's just I think he's all over the map at this point because he's just. I think pride. He wants to be a leader, but like everyone's like, well, Dorio's like she mentions it here that he knocked out Kiwi and. He's and then David and Lucy are just like he's got to leave the room. We'll do this, but he can't even be here.
Yeah, I think that's what knocks David off center because before he's like, oh, they've got it because the big boss, the people that we know that have been in the game for a good long time, they're handling it, and all of a sudden they're getting the call going, shit's gone sideways, and Maine is one of the problems, which would really affect David because that's that's kind of the rock that he sees.
Yeah, it's
for the
basically
group.
taking on that fathering role with him at this point. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's not even professional between them anymore. It's
Right.
very personal.
Right.
And
What's
like
up, Eraserhead? Thanks for joining us. Oh, sorry, there. Go ahead, Amateur.
and you also have Maine, who's like, a man who's always been in control, sort of like the alpha of the group, and he's having to not only come to terms with his own mortality, but he can't control the situation, which is what he's always done, which that's why he's angry, and he tells them to fuck off when they question him about it, because it's like, yeah, he's gonna be pretty miserable.
Yeah, doubly so in a situation like this where he knows there's danger and he would normally be the one that is calling the shots.
Yeah,
But
and this is
he's
like the
losing
last
his
step.
own control, which then puts everybody else in danger, which just amps him up more.
Yeah, and he believes that this is like their big break before their
Right.
so-called retirement, I guess. So it's like, it's tripping. He's tripping on the last step.
Yeah.
Well, Nos, this is why Goodwin's here. He's spot on so far with these reviews. That's
Look,
why
those
he's here.
spots will go away. That my doctor said all you have to do is wait like a week. It'll be fine, Nos.
So yeah, Dorio's like telling that David and Lucy that he's in cyberpsychosis. David is in complete shock here. He can't believe it, even though they're warned and told, and it's inevitable. Like and even Maine's mentioned it to David that like it's just one of those things that's going to happen. Like you're not here for a long time. You're here for a short time, and do as much as you can in that period. So Maine has a hard time dealing with it. He leaves the room, and David kind of chases after him and wants to, be there for Maine. And Maine is, I think, trying to protect the kid at this moment, but also so pissed
He's
off.
dealing with his own shit.
Yeah. Like he just doesn't. He can't. He doesn't know what's real anymore. I think is this in my mind? Is this actually happening? Because like he's bouncing back and forth. I think this moment he thinks it's real, but he doesn't know for how long either. So, and like he even he tries to smack David around here, and David just uses the Sandefistan to move out of the way.
You're pretty quick, kid.
Like,
you think you're faster than me or whatever. That's Sandefistan.
Like,
that's supposed to be mine.
Good at.
Yeah, it's supposed to be mine. Like, I think if he had it, he wouldn't have been around that long at all.
Probably would have killed him earlier.
I think he knows that too. He's just trying to get the kid out of there.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's kind of second guessing everything he's done, right? Because you're going to burn out. But you look back and you're like, oh, not now, not right at this moment. Maybe if I'd have done things, or if I had this in Devastan, I could have achieved this at an earlier step or something like that, right? There's a lot of denial, but a lot of confusion. He's in a real odd mental state right now.
And I just want to acknowledge that I said Sandefistan, right? So
I'll give you about 75% right, which was a hell of a delivery for you. We're grading on a curve here, baby.
Oh yeah, that was like you last night, and you're like, and I can never say.
Sandy, but damn Sandy.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just can't say the damn word.
It's all right.
The use of colors is way more intense in this. So I absolutely agree. It's the rendering that just makes it pop. The shading, everything's just
all of the animation is just turned up to 11.
But normally you get those like blues and everything around Maine is all these somber tones and
red for like anger, right?
Yeah,
panic, alert.
Yes. I love this episode just because of the colors in this one. That's why I said Akira, because when you watch Akira, the color schemes for that, when you see, because of the futuristic look as well, and the fight scenes, and when you see the bikes take off with the light trailing behind it, for its time, it was absolutely incredible. It was amazing. But this kind of does the same thing with the movements, with the way the characters move. And I really dig that, especially with David, the way he moves with the Sandefistan. I don't know how to say that, freaking Sandy. The way he moves, it's incredible.
Adam Gray is right. I mean, the color that they choose, the color itself tells a lot of the story in this.
Yeah. Well, it gives the vibe, because they're in this the little cooped up apartment complex, and it's like in the lower projects of the city. It's not like it's gritty, it's dirty. You see that in Santo Domingo, where David lives. It's dirty, it's gritty. The colors are like we mentioned, like the grays, the browns, the dark reds, the dusty oranges. And then you get into the inner city, the corp world, where everything's bright and vibrant and looks enticing, right? You want to go there. You want to walk around there. So like, yeah, yes, I know. I just can't say it. Okay, it's just one of those things.
Just call it the Spinal Tap.
There you go.
It's totally on point. I've studied it all my life. Colors?
No, this particular frame.
Oh,
Wow.
We've been doing this stream a long time. It's Adam's spent an entire life looking at this.
yeah, this is a great shot too. Like the color schemes, beautifully done. So yeah, you got Maine coming to realization of his fate. You got David wanting to be there for Lucy and do this job as she's warning him about what could potentially happen, and kind of this she's like does like this is the part where it's kind of a little confusing because she acts like she doesn't want to do it, and then he says, oh, yeah, well, let's call it off, we won't do it, and then she's like, no, we got to do it, like in typical
I'm
fashion.
wondering if she has.
Yeah,
an
I was going to say it
ulterior
felt
motive.
very,
I kind of forget
very
where the story.
legitimate.
I kind of forget where the story goes because it's been a while and I didn't super pay attention to the ending, but it feels like Lucy has an ulterior motive. Like
She does.
Yeah, but she also says in this that we don't have that option, right? That they're going to, they know, they have some idea, that we're doing this. They'll come after us, and somebody will come after us if we don't deliver on this. So there's kind of this balance of things. But yeah, I think she's scared.
As for the game, we have over 30 people watching, which is awesome. Thank you for watching us. Go ahead and hit that like button, leave a comment after. It would be greatly appreciated. Of course, sub to not only me, but everyone on the panel here. That'd be awesome. Gooch, side note, how are you digging the game? I love the game.
It's like that good, huh?
Oh, you're immersed into this world. Like
the game's incredible.
It's incredible. It's up there with Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm actually finishing that this week, and then I'm starting Cyberpunk. So,
but Ghost is coming on PC in the next couple weeks, so I'm
nice.
jacked for that.
That's what everyone keeps saying. It was like, what I'm just finishing.
Yeah, I know. So. But yeah, I'm loving Cyberpunk, man. That game is, man. There's so much in there. Like it's almost overwhelming. Like you're really immersed into that world.
Oh yeah, there is way too much to look at. But you got to find the Ken Block car. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but it exists. And it's the best fucking car in the game.
I'm not going to lie. When Gooch drives in that game, he's smacking things around and hitting everything.
Well, you definitely
more
need
Crazy
this car.
Taxi than Cyberpunk.
Yeah. And it may or may not be intentional.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes you just got to go straight burnout on it, and
yeah. No, it says, well, she's afraid to poke in Arasaka data fortress herself, given her past. Yeah, and she even says that they're always watching,
right?
And that scares her. So she doesn't want to. She's saying that she doesn't want to do it, and yet David's like, okay, well, we don't have to do it. Let's just go. Let's get out of here. And then she's like, well, we have to.
Right.
And then David's like, yeah, I'm here for you. And so
he just wants to be around her. That's all.
She is a great character. She's like, she's probably my favorite character. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of mystique about her. And she has a kick-ass, that cyber wire that she uses. That's a cool weapon. Like you don't see too many female characters having really cool weapons like that. Usually it's like a sword or a gun or your typical stuff, or a dagger, a small little dagger. She has a cool weapon. I like that. And so David's comforting her, and he's I believe in you, Lucy. And again, the color tones.
She requests that, right? She's like, I need you to say that.
Yeah.
Fucking daddy issues alert.
Oh, who could have anticipated?
With that haircut? No.
And her weapon is a whip. Okay. All right.
Cyber whip. Okay.
It's more of a bravado.
whatever you need to call it.
What's up, Tim? Thanks for joining us, bro.
Timmy.
Appreciate it.
Timmy.
Again, going back to the lights, the lighting and the color here, I really love this shot. Like it really brings in that somber, emotional vibe to the scene because the whole hallway's dark, but that one light just shines on them. Great shot. Really like that. So yeah, they go back to the room. They lay down the rules to Dorio what's going to happen. Main, he can't be in the room. Dorio's saying, okay, you got to keep us in the loop. And so David jacks David's about to jack Lucy into the computer to get into Tanaka's head, and then this is where we see Main kind of have flashbacks again, and he's like staring at a wall.
Yeah, he thinks he's out at his like tarmac strip in the desert, but meanwhile he's like walking into a wall like a broken NPC.
Yeah.
He needs to T-pose to assert his dominance.
Yeah, like look at that. He's like, you get this, like he's just doing the Blair Witch Project, just in the corner, just like standing there.
I wonder how much of this episode was inspired by how glitchy this game was when it came out.
No way. Oh,
you need to have some people phase in and out of things, you know.
Have the lighting change halfway through. Oh, that wasn't on purpose.
Car disappears through the floor.
But getting back to what we were talking about earlier, like the way they present the environment around them is beautifully done.
Yeah, this is almost like a fisheye kind of view.
Yeah.
Yes. A bit of a Dutch angle on there.
Yeah.
Yes. You're looking through like a door, like your
horse perspective, everything.
Yeah.
Looks...
really cool. I know. Yeah. There's
I love how they animate his head small when he's having like doubts about himself. It's just such an exaggeration. It's like, hey, we can emote from the back.
Yeah.
Damn it.
What a flex.
And Dorio's like jacked up. She's really big.
Yeah, Bridget Nielsen vibes.
Yeah. So then we get to this where we see Tanaka. He's out, and David is taking. Lucy's getting undressed, getting ready to go into the ice tub, and Davey's prepping everything up. And Lucy knows her knows her mission, but she's nervous and scared. David sets her in.
Well, she also reveals something that she's been hiding from everybody.
Deep
jack in her head.
Yeah. And he actually asks her why she hides it.
She of course does not answer.
Yes. So she gets inside, and then right away you see her trying to hack in through the
ice.
I guess the cyber.
It's ice. It's the intrusion countermeasures.
Yeah. Thank you.
I thought she was turning into Sailor Moon or some shit.
So then we get to this part right here. Main. He's just like starting to glitch out a little bit again. You can see him, and he's talking to Faraday. Faraday's like, have you gotten the data? He knows all the information. He knows that wiki is not available, and he's like, you need to get this really soon. And he's just, you got to find a way to do it. And Main doesn't tell him that they're going to have Lucy do it. He just mentions that they will get the job done. And
Main is very irritated because he's glitching, and he's trying to have this conversation, and Faraday keeps asking him questions. He's like, just shut up. We'll do it. It's fine.
Yeah. And he just he's trying to keep his composure. Like he's trying to, like you said, he's trying to keep focused. And the conversation goes decent. Faraday's just like, I want everything done like we've agreed. Goes back to Lucy, and she's doing her thing, and then we get back to Main, where he's just losing it, and you could see it from his view.
He's glitching.
The cyber psychosis taking over.
That's also what happens to you in game, as I'm sure you're aware now. Every time that chip starts messing with you, this happens, and you know, oh, here comes a cutscene I can't skip where I like cough and suffer for like a minute or two.
Quick time event, yay!
You know who Dorio? I just realized it just came to me in this shot right here. Do you remember the Nazi woman in Dark Knight Returns?
Yes.
Yes.
It just came to me.
Actually, she looks like the protagonist from Resident Evil 4.
As soon as you said
Yeah.
Nazi, I was like, I knew
Yeah.
exactly who you're.
As I
You got to
just-
draw that next, Zach.
Tommy mommy.
Frank Miller's Uberfrau.
Oh,
Zach says I would say fix the police and AI and Cyberpunk. It's R2D2 level at times.
Red Dead Redemption 2 level.
Yeah.
RDR2.
What did I say? R2D2?
Yeah,
That is true.
that's a different franchise.
The police
yeah.
the police in Cyberpunk versus like the GTA or Red Dead franchise is like woefully shittier.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Red Dead. The Red Dead system's more or less pretty good. But
I
Cyberpunk's
remember-
just like they just come out of nowhere. They just appear and it's like, wow, this is like GTA 3 shit.
I remember when it first dropped, my buddy was talking to me about that game for months, and then he was my bass player at the time, so you know, I asked him how it was going, you know, like the next week after he bought it, and like he didn't want to talk about it because it was like so glitchy, and like he had talked this game up, and he's like, you know, they're gonna have their own currency, yada yada, and I was like, all right, man, just let me know how it is. And then like I asked him about it, was, you know how it's going, and I was like, I don't. You bought the game, I assume that
Yeah,
you'd be having a good time with it.
Yeah, I mean, like
you
I had
assumed
a,
incorrectly.
And
I had a great
assumed
time
you're
until I
incorrect.
stopped doing the main story and stopped playing it linearly and just tried to explore and fuck around. That's when I really started to realize how broken it was. Just randomly die walking around like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it really depended what platform you were on.
Yeah, PC was a lot better. Like if you were on a last gen console, like fuck me, dude, you
Oh
were not
yeah,
gonna have a good
that's
time.
what I heard.
Yeah.
Like I had a pretty cutting edge PC at the time, and I was having issues. So it was like, oh fuck, if this
Yeah,
can't
people
do
with
it, like-
4090s were struggling with it. I was like, oh, that's impressive.
Oh, back when it came out, I think the best card was like a 1080 Ti, and it's like looking back, like fuck, you were hopeless. Like,
So yeah, this part right here, Maine is losing it. He's calling Dorio Faraday at times, and he's and threatening Faraday on the phone. He's bouncing back and forth. He's like kind of all over the place right now. And then David's you know, looking over Lucy, and then the Tanaka wakes up and starts talking to David, and then it goes right back to Maine. Maine is passed out on the floor, and Dorio's trying to get help, trying to wake him up, and she's trying to get him. She's giving him. She's injecting what's that? The immunosuppressors
Yeah.
Yes.
into him. Then it goes. And this is going at a very fast pace. So like,
they were
bounces
supposed
Yeah,
back
it
and forth.
jumps back and forth. I mean, you're kind of feeling like Maine a bit, where shit's just
Yeah.
coming at you and you're processing it and trying to keep up.
it does work. Like as
Mhm.
fast paced as it is, it still works just fine.
Yeah, again, it does a great job of kind of setting you on edge,
Mhm.
right? Like everybody
Yeah.
else is.
And it still has this semi chronological through line that sort of
Right.
holds it all together. But yeah, Maine is like hoarding all of these tranquilizers or immune suppressors that were supposed to be for Tanaka to keep him unconscious.
Mhm.
But yeah, didn't go that way, did it?
And Lucy is breaking in. Tanaka's waking up. David's about to, you know, knock him back out, and then Tanaka starts talking to David, begging him to keep him alive, and starts mentioning the things to David about Faraday and Arasaka. And
But he's doing what corpos do best, talking pure
Yes.
bullshit to try to make you second guess everything
Well,
about yourself.
but with enough truth, right, to pass
Exactly.
per snip, right? Because he tells him, "I'm the one that you know, got you
Reinstated
back in
you."
the academy."
Well,
and
it's like
Yeah.
every good lie is based 90%
right,
in
yeah,
truth.
it always
right?
to be 90% truth.
And how great of a shot is this? I'm glad I landed on this. Like, this is like an incredible shot.
Somehow they
Uh,
made his face look bright as if it was glowing without actually
Yeah.
making it glow.
Yeah, it's because of the use of the shadow everywhere else.
Like, that's one thing about this episode that jumps out at me. There's no midtones. They get all of this depth and highlights across using just highlights and shadow. No midtones. Nothing.
Yeah, there's a good mix of like hard noir in this, where you have the hard shadows that hide certain things, and then bright light on just one thing, and then you go. But again, it depends who it is, where it is, in what setting, and what's going on.
Yeah, they use it totally as like a storytelling tone device.
Right.
And they wield it perfectly, I think.
So yeah, David is getting a lot of information from Tanaka, and like we said, he mentions about being reinstated in school. He's talking about Arasaka and how you need to stop this, and I think he mentions something else that to him about I can't remember what he says to him here. You'll change your life.
Yeah,
you give me
we've seen the way that you handled this in Devistan. We think you have potential. Arasaka's interested in you. They've been watching you. They have like an offer for you, like a bright, wealthy, whatever future, which is probably pure bullshit. He's going to go there. They're probably going to like take him apart into some machine and.
And the thing is that they notice, again, that despite, tank guy with military training and all that stuff, and he freaks out, this scrawny kid is somehow able to handle it. They're very interested in him, and yeah, he's probably going to get some interesting experiments run on him, but he's also going to be kept alive because right now he's the only one that seems to be able to handle that level of chrome. And so they would be very interested. But this is he's kind of giving an option of, look, you don't have to be an edge runner. There's room for you in the corpo world, and you have real value to them, right? And so it's like you don't have to do this.
Bag appears. Sorry.
Yeah. What's up, Bagface?
What up, baby?
Oh shit! It's the bag man.
It's the bag man.
Bags.
Thanks for joining us, brother.
Of course, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm always late. Things land up at the same time.
I think
No
excuse.
apologies. No apologies. You know that.
That's a cyber psychosis that's getting to him.
Yeah. Curtis Lee Cancino, thanks for joining us. I don't think I've seen you on the channel. If I have, no, I haven't seen you. Thanks for joining us, though. Appreciate it. This is why it would have been the perfect ending for David to become damn.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. No spoilers there, bro. So yeah, like we're just at the point where Bag, thanks for joining us. David is kind of Tanaka's waking up. David's just about to knock him out, and Tanaka's using whatever he can to convince David not to, and that he's given him a lot of information, some false, some true. And David is hesitating. He's kind of shocked to hear it. He doesn't know what to think. Maine is into full cyber psychosis, in and out. Dorio's concerned. She has no idea what to do. And of course, Lucy's in the tub of ice, jacked into Tanaka. And she even says, like, what the hell's going on? Because it's going at such a rapid pace. She's like, what the hell's going on? Tanaka, wake up. And she says that while she's in there at the moment. So
there is one thing. Does Tanaka lie?
I don't think he does. And I think there's actually, so there's a reason that he's having this conversation, which gets revealed in like another couple of minutes. Tanaka, despite being, a high level corpo, there's always a level higher, and come to find out that really his greatest value, the real way that he's going to have any kind of success in the corporal world is if he manages to get David to come with them, because again, he's able to handle the Sendevistan, and that's very important to Arasaka.
Yeah, and didn't Tanaka pull some levers to get David back?
Right, because he beat up Tanaka's kid, and then he's like, no, we're gonna, Arasaka is actually going to handle his scholarship and all that.
Yeah, he's like sticking his neck out for David.
Right, because he
And
knows
even
the
after all the shit
value.
he's been put through, okay. I see your argument for sure, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
Tetsuya,
I
he
think
beats up
there's got to be a
Tetsuya.
lie somewhere because it's just the way that the corporations work in this universe.
Well, but
Like someone's lying to him.
yeah. So if we give it another couple of minutes, then I think it makes an even stronger argument that he's telling the truth here.
Yeah, the lighting in this episode is
Oh, yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Great. There's some great shots. in this.
Tremendous visual storytelling.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm curious, Bagface, if you've seen this episode. I'm just curious what your thoughts on it, just visually.
Episode 6,
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
if I'm remembering the order correctly, I think this one is my favorite episode.
You called it, Amber.
Then
Sure.
you,
Yeah. When he was like, oh, he's going to be late, and it was like, this is not when he wants to be late.
Yeah.
for. This.
No,
Yeah.
This visually, this episode is like completely insane. Like, I don't know how much drugs they had to take to come up with the ideas that they did for this episode, but they were good. They were good amounts.
Yeah, it's like they had a budget for the total series of how much lighting, color, animation levels, and all that stuff. We're gonna spend it all on this episode. Everything else can kind of be playing. This one is gonna be the King Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, and it's it goes at such a high pace. Like you're bouncing around a lot in this episode, but you're invested in it.
Yeah, and I think again because we keep shifting in and out of Maine's perceptions, the whole episode is manic because he is.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Definitely
result
a
is
fever dream.
Yeah,
this episode feels like it's 8 minutes long.
yeah,
It does. Like this is such an anime shot where they focus on the mouth and the lower face. I
not
just
quite
dig
as many teeth as he had when he first showed up.
Yeah. And then we're back to Lucy breaking in, and she finds the dead, and he's not even answering at this moment because Maine is completely gorked out, and he's not responding. So she's calling David, and then you gets back to David here. Tanaka is, as you can see, Dorio's calling. You're seeing through the eyes of David.
Mm-hmm.
Tanaka is still trying to convince David to let him go, and then I kind of went a little too far, I think. Dorio and Maine jump in, and they kind of zap him out, knock him out. And
Wait, didn't that
No,
happen?
no.
No, I think that happened.
He has a head bomb.
Yeah. He's
It
got like a
blows his-
plant in his
Oh.
head. So when he gets what do you call it? Compromised, just zap, bang.
Right. So this is the point where Lucy says he didn't have any information.
Yeah, this is the big reveal.
Right.
Of
That's
this
why
is
I'm
all the
saying
setup,
that
fuck you.
this is what underlines he's telling the truth the whole time because he's not nearly as valuable within the corporation as you think. He's just so much higher a level than our characters that they think that he's really important, but he's not.
No, exactly.
His
like- it's like
value is getting David.
It's like that World War II Japanese meme. You want happy ending? No happy ending. Here, bomb. Fuck you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
it happened so fast. I thought they just knocked him out here.
No,
And
he's
then
got
he had the body.
an explosive in his brain.
Okay, that makes more sense now. Okay.
It's because Lucy, like right before this, is like there's nothing in it. He doesn't have anything. Right, and then they pop it, and then he goes pop.
Oh yeah, and by the way, platinum fucking level med tech subscription. So have fun with that shit.
Yep.
So Maine couldn't even have handled David's thing, or not for long.
Right.
The Sandevistan.
Right.
I can never say that right.
Yeah, the Sandevistan is so again from the first
Sandy
episode.
Koufax.
Yeah, from the
Can someone
first
please
episode.
make a meme of that, please, for the love of Zacks or someone, or just like clip it and post it on Twitter so I can.
Yeah, you
wake
need to
up
have
to
Gooch
that
as
shit.
John Travolta singing Sandy all the time. That'll be.
Fuck, I love it.
You guys are assholes, but I love you.
Well, so now Jamma, the remember the first episode you had a guy he's trained military, is built like an absolute unit, and it drives him nuts. Somehow this scrawny kid Is it because the they point out this thing will blow somebody up, like in, if you use it once or twice a day. He's using it like 8 times a day and getting a nosebleed.
Yeah, 9 times a night, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, baby. Well, he's young. Let him get a little older. We'll see how that plays out.
Nos says they overloaded his cyberware in his head. You can do that in the game.
Right, and then his head pops.
Okay.
Need a lot of RAM for that one, baby.
Julio, thanks for joining us, bro. Appreciate it.
Bust out my hard drive.
Curtis, thanks again for sending us your comments. I watched BTS for Studio Trigger, and they said they focused on the spotlighting for the series, which is rare style for anime. Well, exactly. That's why.
That's why there's no midtones. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I think it's a callback to noir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's always a street lamp is your main source of light.
Right. You're always having hard shadows and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got 46 people watching. Appreciate all of you. Some on YouTube, some on X, Twitter. Sorry, BAGFACE. If you guys could hit that like button, and if you can leave a comment after, it'd be greatly appreciated. And not only sub, but sub to all these guys here because they got great shit. So on their channels as well. So that would be awesome. So yeah, getting back to this. So Tanaka's out of commission. They're starting to panic because David is like in complete shock. They're getting Lucy out of the tub. They're trying to get her unjacked. David finally realizes he's got to do something, so they unjack her.
Well, Dorio doesn't realize that she has a deep jack, so
yeah,
she's like, "Oh, just disconnect her." No, you can't do that right now.
Yeah. Main takes Tanaka's body and straps it to him. To
fucking genius move.
Yeah.
Max Tack can't shoot you if you got their fucking platinum client strapped to your chest.
Yeah. And so he's fried, so it calls the trauma team, and of course he's got the platinum premium plan, and so they're in a big rush because now they have to get the hell out of there, which is right here. They jabbed him and he flatlined, so he's probably fine. But Lucy's all right. We start talking. Where the fuck were you thinking? And Maine is kind of giving it to David, and
David's giving it back.
Yeah, exactly. So David's like still in shock a bit too, like this shot right here, another great shot.
I think he's rebelling a bit too, because again, the person who's supposed to be in charge, who's supposed to be the Rock, is running amok and causing all kinds of problems, and so he's kind of, when Maine yells at him, he yells, "But you're the one that knocked Kiwi out and did all this shit, and shit's all fucked up and bullshit because of you." And Dorio is just cutting past it all and has been like, "Yeah, stop fucking around." Right.
Not to mention he just got a fucking Titan backhand from the guy. Which
would
knock my marbles around a bit. I don't know about you. But yeah, David's got like 3 choices at this point, and it's sort of like fucking him up. Like, I could either, surrender myself to this corpo regime, whatever that means. I can stay here and try to fucking, follow instructions from this guy who's mentally falling apart, or I can just run away with Lucy.
Right.
So he's kind of stuck because he doesn't know what to pick. Which makes sense. And this is like Maine's last few moments of lucidity. And I love how he just automatically becomes like the disciplinary father for a second, as like his last lucid act.
Yeah. So like he's telling David and to take Lucy and to go to the getaway. Yeah, go to the car, or ride as they call it.
Yeah.
And then this happens. This is where it gets even sped up even more because it's bouncing back and forth. Lucy wakes up while she's in the ride with David, and he's like, "Did you see something there? What happened?" And he's trying to get information from Lucy, and David is hearing everything that's happening, or wondering what's happening with Maine and Dorio, because he's saying they're taking too long. Where are they? And she's like emotionally distraught, like, talking about, Tanaka, because she realizes he had no data. There was nothing there.
And we're also not entirely sure what she saw on everyone's file either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because maybe
So-
there's a bit of, oh, Maine is more fucked up than you think, or something. We don't know, but that's the impression I got. That's why
Yeah,
she wants to fucking leave them. I'm guessing, but
Yeah, and she's like Tanaka was a bust. Like she's like it was she's like talking like it's like it was a setup, and David's starting to worry about getting all ready to get ready to fight, and this starts happening real quick, and then you start to see because it constantly flashes back and forth here with David. And then you got the NCPD showing up fast, and he's like, "How the hell did they get here so fast?"
and I love that little thing. It's like they're popping out of nowhere,
Yeah,
just like the
yeah.
cops
Yeah.
doing the game, and I'm just like, "Fuck yeah, that's self-aware right there."
Are we near a spawn point? Damn it!
Yeah. Well, this part right here, like this, like the animation. This is what I like about the animation, because it like this part right here is what you would see in Kill la Kill. This is what I mean, like this kind of animation style with the cops, like
And
they're
the
not-
faces go very
Yeah.
heavy metal as well.
The
right?
lack
Yeah,
of detail
exactly.
on things that don't need it because they're not
Yeah.
main characters. Fuck it.
Right, but then the over expression when you know some of the cops are getting shot and stuff like that. It's very much a callback to heavy
Save
metal.
the animation for Buddy's face when we need him to emote, you know. It's efficient, man. It's really good. It means they storyboard the shit out of their stuff for
Yeah,
sure.
again,
Or
they're
they're
deploying their
geniuses.
resources well, right?
Mhm.
You know that okay, we do it in the most impactful way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think Mike Bancroft coined the phrase when we were doing Blue Eye Samurai. He called it economy of animation, which I think is just brilliant.
Mm,
Right.
yeah. And Nas right here says this is where it really falls apart. This is especially traumatic for David because Maine was his role model after his mom died, and you have to remember how young he is. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and then he also kind of piggybacks that, and he says it also where it becomes horror like as well.
Yeah.
It changes into a slasher sequence that's genuinely unsettling.
Right. And that's very much the heavy metal vibe that I got.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Mhm.
It's
the
it's
gore
like,
in this
it's,
episode.
It's
Sorry.
like the glowing orb that shows up, you know, the little girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
The over, you know, the horror faces, that this is all in here.
There's one shot especially just talking about the gore where Maine is like covered in red, like every
Yes.
part of him
Yeah.
is the same tone of red, and he's just got
Oh,
his
you
gun
took the words out
pointed,
of my mouth. Yeah.
and you know he's completely broken at this point, and he's just like enjoying the last
Yeah.
little bit of chaos before he knows he's dead. He's like accepted it. It's like, oh my god, this episode is so good.
So David is panicking because he's trying to get hold of Dorio and Maine. They're not picking up. He's like talking about going to rescue them. Lucy doesn't want him to go. She's like, we need to get out of here.
She points out, she's like, because he's like, well, I go help. No, you stay here because what if they find a different way out and
Yeah.
then you're not here to drive?
Mm-hmm.
um,
Practical.
And then you're hearing the trauma team's on the way, the NCPD, and then
I love it. I love how every time they switch back to Lucy and David, you just hear gunshots going on.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
in the background.
and it's frantic. Like it's so like incredibly paced out. And so he uses the Sandavestan. Oh Christ, I can't say the fucking thing.
Good enough for Canadians.
Yeah. And this is where Maine just goes full cyber psychotic on everyone. Like he's just killing everybody, shooting everything in his way.
He's also
Dorio's
trying to
like-
shoot Dorio without realizing it. She's like fucking jumping around like, Maine, fuck off.
And all you see is this is Bane's visuals, and the little black dots that come out. He's shooting those black dots, and and he's firing away, and then like Dorio is charging at him, like, and you see the glasses break. It kind of snaps him out of it, and then he sees Dorio shot in the head.
He keeps
And-
shooting though, which is insane.
Yeah.
It means he has like no control.
Well, I think the chrome's taken over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's completely fried.
Like,
There's
look at
no
that shot. Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's a great shot.
I like the shot where the gunshot first happens and they're both like grappling, and the way everything stops and just everyone's like their own layer, and it's just sort of like sliding around to like invoke movement, but it's also like telling you this is very important moment, you know, like pay attention to all the little details. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like my turning point. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Like, damn, they're killing off like some big characters here with no, no holding back on it. They were just like, yep, time to get rid of them.
From the get-go, they say, you're like, Maine tells them you're not here for a long time. It's you got to get chromed up because you're not going to survive out there. It's inevitable.
Yeah, you're gonna die young anyway. Might as well.
Yeah. What's up, Vex? Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. And then of course, the big man himself, Cannoli. What's up, brother? Yeah.
What up, Pops?
Yeah, everyone's digging this scene. This episode, Nos is really enjoying this episode, I think. So most people think Maine shoots Dorio, but he doesn't. She gets shot through the head.
Yeah,
back of that. Yeah, at first I thought that too, and then I had to read.
It was because his glasses get hit from the bullet that went through her head.
Yeah, it exit through her forehead. Yeah.
I totally thought he shot her.
Yeah, I thought.
That's why his glasses break because the shot that goes through her head.
That makes more sense. I just
but I mean, there's an exit wound right on the front of her head. I mean, I just didn't notice that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell with anime sometimes because half the time they're just trying to show you how powerful his fucking gun is, so they make everything shatter every time.
But they make this is going so fast too.
Yeah. There's a brief pause when he gets hit in the glasses and it kind of stuns him for a minute, and then he sees Dorio and you see the hole in her head, and then
on spit and tears.
Yeah.
Sweat.
I love it. Like nothing better than 2D animation.
Damn.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Yo. All right.
Yeah, because she's trying to save him because he's just kind of standing there like a bumpus, just shooting everybody with no, concern for covering himself, and then she goes try and save him, gets shot.
Yeah. This is such a great episode, and it again so fast. This episode bouncing back and forth, like especially with Maine here, like it's so fast. You don't know what's going on. You just know he's losing his mind, and he's just shooting at everything and anything in his way. And so we get him kind of killing off cops, and then they're calling the Max Corps to come in. Or Max Tech to come in because the cops are just like there's no way that we're going to deal with this anymore. And
plus,
then
it's elevated to a cyber psycho event, right? So that's Max Tech's fucking that's their bread and butter.
Yep.
Again, the lighting
for this moment.
The lighting, like I love the blue light going on the cops. Like it's a frantic state, but like it's they feel like they're like everything's okay because they got cover. And then you get to the next shot where you see, Maine covered in blood all over the place.
Yeah, his entire robot arm is just totally red. Yeah,
red. They just want to draw your eye to this red blood all over him. So they're like, "Fuck shadows, fuck contact lighting, global illumination." He's covered in blood. Damn it! Notice.
It kind of looks like a skull too. Like when you at the frame, you look at the white dot. It looks like an eye socket. And you look at the nose, and then it like the blood just runs down and starts to form the teeth. It looks like a skull in the background.
Yeah.
See, but like minus the collar and maybe Maine's haircut, like if you told me this was a still from something like Sin City, or they've really muted everything else. I love the way they do this here.
Yeah, it looks like something out of an old comic, maybe even. Yeah. But, like on the left, like we know how refraction and global illumination works, and then on the right they're just like, fuck you, this is a stylistic choice.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a clash of two worlds. It's really cool.
There's like a good amount of times in this whole show though that like they really bump the luminance on blood, even in the last shot.
Yeah,
where like Dario, like her blood is so red, like over exposed, I guess you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturated,
And the-
overexposed.
And then Maine has this hulked out Steve Urkel moment where he's like, "Did I do that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my fault.
The other thing I want to touch on, and especially for this episode, is the camera angles for this one. There's a lot of really crazy cool camera angles. Like this one, you're kind of like, it's not a bird's eye view. It's kind of like a 3/4 bird's eye view almost.
Yeah,
like
and you still have a Dutch angle. You're still, everything is, again, because this whole episode has been off kilter shots on thing, because again, you're in kind of Maine's mania right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get to the point where we have to start praising directors of photography in animation, because man, the 3D camera work I've been seeing in like modern animation has blown me away. Like Arcane, Blue Eye Samurai, they're all like top tier camera work, and no one even they don't even talk about having a director of photography. It's just the animators doing it. It's like someone needs to take credit for this, because
that's like the was an episode or two ago where we were talking about you can tell that whoever animated this really understands the camera, right? Has shot
they
real
arguably-
scenes,
Yeah.
right? Physical scenes, because they understand the language of the camera, how a camera is different from like reality and how you see certain things, and they really focus on maximizing that visual camera language that's so integral to movies.
Yeah, it's almost like they understand better than some big time directors doing.
Well, I know
actual
damn
live
well
action.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
they might have actually read something on it without pretending that they know everything just by
Or actually
existing.
made things other than just jerking themselves off because it looks cool, bro.
At a fucking lens flare or 50. Fuck.
Yeah.
I would love to see the thumbnails for this, because before you even get started, you're doing the thumbnails for this, and I would love to see all the thumbnails and how much
Yeah.
They gotta
the
release.
angles that they kind of had that they didn't use. I'm just kind of curious to see the artwork for it. Yeah, great
those,
direction.
Remember those film companion books they used to make, where like
Yes.
if a really big film came out, you'd get like some of the photography in a book from it. They got to do that with animation. Like, hey, here's some of our storyboards. Here's some of our original like complete shots, and like that would be amazing. I would buy
Yeah,
that.
the behind the scenes type stuff that they would
Like
do.
if Fortiche started releasing like all the hand drawn shit that they did and all the assets and stuff, and they put it in a book,
Yeah.
I would buy that.
Yeah, this is this is pure gore. Main's just going to town. Like, look at this.
Platinum client confirmed dead. I love that.
Yeah.
Just a piece of his face splattered on the wall.
Well, I've got his
Yeah.
face. We can rebuild him. We can make him better.
Yeah.
We have the technology.
The trauma team is freaking out. So this is a great shot too. Like they're running out to the chopper, and Maine just throws a grenade.
I love that the cops are first, because the trauma team's like, "Oh, policy is no longer valid. Bye." And the cops are like, "You're leaving us?"
Yeah, no,
yes,
they're
we
like,
are.
We gotta go.
The client's dead. We're
Oh, look
fucking
at the
outta
time.
here.
I got a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll wait for her. What's her face to hire the main character from the game plot to come deal with him later.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at his gun too. It's the size, like it's a third of this guy's body. He's just pressing up against it, just blasts.
I love how it just shoots 8 fucking bullets in like
Yes.
a grid
Yeah.
at whatever you're pointing it at. It's
Well, it's important to be thorough in these kinds of things.
if you look at the wall, they actually like put the bullet holes like in shape of his gun, which is
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
And then you get this moment here where he's just in the hallway alone, and all the cops are, there's like a handful of cops, and he's just, it's like he has a moment of like, this is it, this is my last stance, and he just charges cops, knocks them all out, and then you're seeing it through Maine's eyes here. He's cyber psychosis, and he comes through, and he hears the radio of Max Tech coming, and then David kind of shows up. Actually, he shoots at David, and it hits David. It just glazes his cheek
Yeah.
right there. And he's just like, "Oh, hey,
Oh.
kid."
Hey, kid.
His eye even
Yeah.
does this cool little wobble thing, like in response to it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, we get here. Main is he's main at for the moment, and he's
Yeah, it's like,
And again,
You
concerned
holding up
about
all
his
right?
team.
yeah.
And this is where the animation starts to change a little bit, right here. As you can see in Maine, he's kind of got a different look to his face. So he almost looks like Pinocchio here. And he in his vision is he has Dorio being see if I can grab that.
Yeah,
Has
on
like
a pyre.
Yeah,
Yeah,
On
yeah,
a
on a
wooden
pyre.
pyre.
Yeah. And yeah, right here. And obviously that's not, she's not on a wooden pyre. She's, a bunch of
It looks like IT upgraded a bunch of desktop computers and threw the old ones out here. And so,
yeah. And then again, he's in a different state, but capable of talking with David and giving David, something to chew on. Max Tack shows up. They start charging in. David is like wants to stay with Maine and fight with Maine, and you see David starting to shake. And this is a great shot of seeing. See the animation is different here with Maine.
Yeah, so what I'm talking about before, like how it almost looks older. They use like flatter colors and whatnot for this like flashback sequence. At least the parts of the flashback where you're internally like looking at things through Maine's sort of psyche. But if you go back to the shot before, actually, where he's holding the gun, it's something that jumped out to me when I was watching it. It's sort of a strange choice. The gun is CG to make it wobble, I guess, more like photoreal like, and then the rest of it is totally it's all done on the computer, but like it's not like it's drawn, right? Whereas the gun's CG, which it hops out at you when it's in motion. I just thought that was a really weird choice. Maybe not in this particular shot, but there's one where it's really close up on the gun and it's shaking like crazy. It's like the gun is CG.
It's coming up right here. Yeah. Right here. This shot right here where he starts to shake a little bit. Yeah.
They just did it so it didn't blur.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
No, but they do the visual tearing blur.
Yeah, that's a filter.
I don't know if that's no. I mean, there's actually they draw the lines like they do for David when he shakes there. If you go back to that frame.
Yeah,
but,
it's a filter you can apply to the whole image, and you just take your pen and you can pick where the squiggles are. It'll do it to the whole frame.
Just stretches, but it's very distinctive stretches, right? So it's not like a normal blur. It's
it's like an animation tool, but
but I'm not. I mean, it may be 3D, but I think that it stands out because it's one of the few things that actually have hard angles.
Yeah, it also has this texture on it, which nothing else does.
Yeah, but it's a very low, flat texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then we see David like just panicking and freaking out because he knows this is it for him to stay with Maine. And all you're hearing is the radio from the Max Tack, showing up and charging in, and it just zooms in, and then Maine just says, "David, you gotta go, you gotta run." He just covers his hands, takes the gun, and you can't do it. And which is a great shot because like Maine is like in and out of the cyber psychosis. He just raged on everyone, and he's taken this moment while he has it to get David out of there.
Right. He has a moment of clarity. Well, a partial moment of clarity, and the first thing that he does is, "Here's my team member. I need to try and save them."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, your de facto little brother.
Yeah.
We got a couple cool through lines here. Like one of them is, Lucy is like, "Tell me I can do it," and then and then that rubs off onto David when he's coming up to this room, and the Sandevistan starting to mess with him, and he's like, I can do it, and then he comes up here, and Maine's like, no, you can't do it, right? And then there's the other through line of like, what, you think you're cool because you're fast or whatever? You're only fast because of that shit that you took from me, basically. And then here he says, you know, keep on running, fast is what you do. And it's like, oh, that's like the coolest way of doing like some minimal little setup and payoff, but having like maximum impact. Because it's like, this is Maine's way of like not only making amends for whatever slight that was, but he's also saying goodbye, which is, you know.
Yeah, and he's given David permission to leave.
Exactly. And it's like, this is yours now. It's like passing the torch. It's a great moment. Well written. Very well written.
I'm curious because like this shot right here, they don't show his full face here. They just show the lower half of his face. I like it because it intensifies the moment. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on it.
Yeah, you don't need
cool.
it.
No.
It might
Yeah,
be too
you don't
much.
need it. Yeah.
Well, and again, these are the last words they're going to have with each other. So you focus on the thing that makes the words.
And it kind of keeps it like claustrophobic in a way, like holds the tension, even though it's a moment of levity, I guess, in the scene itself, like him saying goodbye, and it gets like emotional. It still holds like the tension of the overall scene by just keeping it so tight.
Yeah, I think there's also an intimacy to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's very true.
That was a great thing that Nos just said. It goes to show that David meant a lot to him, because even in the midst of madness, he still was soft with him, which 100%. Because your brain, when you're you know, in a situation that you can't actually handle, your brain sort of like builds a happy place, and the only things that are allowed to exist in your happy place are things that don't sort of connect to that.
Yeah, I think the other thing is
trauma.
that, so you had the earlier where he actually hits David, right? But there's like, you know, 8 or 9 things going, and you know, think of like the worst headache you ever had. You don't want to hear from anybody. Everything pisses you off, right? And it's just like this barrage of input. He now Maine has a clarity of, I only have one option, right? And so everything, just the noise goes away, right? I am going to go at max tech. But David is standing back, and he's like, you need to go, right? All I need to do is fix this, and then I'm good. I already know my destination. I need you to move on, right? The noise kind of goes away from him for a bit, because all of the options, all of the different people, all of the different potential threats, everything has kind of got, you know, instantiated now. He knows exactly what the game is.
And I love this little slap, which is like a soft version of how he like fucking beat him before.
Yeah.
Hey, paisan, it'll be fine. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Well, the style changes here too with the animation again.
Yeah, it
like
does.
It's rendered. The shadows are darker. It's detailed a lot more. The line art is like even thinner on it.
Yep.
So
the global light is orange, or like a yellowy gold instead of white.
And then if we go back to this style here, like it just bounces back and forth, and then then right to this. This is a more detailed look of David here.
Yeah, not in hindsight, but like looking at it at this perspective, it's really important to have such a dramatic light shift between these two scenes, because they intercut so frequently, and like you never get lost, because you're never like, oh, I thought we were in this building. It's like, no, because the lighting is so different. His eyes aren't even lining up anymore.
Yeah, and you have David in the light. Maine is in the dark now, because he's he's become a shadow of himself, and he's about to go real dark.
Yeah, his eyes don't even make sense anymore. They look different than they did before.
Yeah, everything about him is distorted.
It makes me sad, dude. I fucking really like this character.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he goes out in an awesome way. You know what I mean? It's just...
Oh, he's definitely getting a drink named after him. 100%.
Yeah, it's not some guy pissing off of a fucking cargo container that takes him out. No.
No.
This scene hit me in the feels. It tells you a lot when animation can do what live action has not been able to do for a while.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Or ever.
Go watch Baby
arguably.
Reindeer.
Oh, I was just gonna bring that up, brother. I was
Oh, man,
just
I
gonna bring that up.
cried like a bitch watching that show. Holy.
We're gonna talk about that once we're done this. Okay.
All right, all right.
I need to
Yes.
not watch it so passively.
No,
and
you
actually
need to-
fucking sit down and watch it properly. Because I thought it was
So-
really good, but I was just like, I don't know.
I
So
don't
the
know, I was-
explosion, the detonation goes off. They kill
Damn.
a lot of max. Then the animation gets really distorted and
Then we all drop
abstract.
acid and we're having a great time.
Yeah,
this
this
moment
is where
was
I
a bit weird. This was just like, okay.
I love it. I love it because this.
I
is what
don't
mean
hate it.
by- This is what I mean
Reminds me
by
of the cover of The Wall.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going full fucking like Roger Waters video here. Like, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
yeah.
Bags, my wife really wants to see that by Julio. Yes, it's worth watching. This is what I mean by Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. This is kind of that vibe you get. Pink Floyd's another one. The Wall would be another great one. So yeah, it just starts morphing. You see Maine just like, look at his left eye. It's just all huge.
Bulging
He
and-
looks like Marty Feldman here. And people don't know who Marty Feldman is. He was a great comedian back in the 70s and 80s.
It's Igor.
Yeah. And then it flashback to Maine, back to where he was running. And then you see the Max Tech team, and then Lucy's waiting for David to call. She's calling him, and then, which is a great
Explosion.
shot. I love this shot where her eyes are just like, it's the
Pick
orange in the
up,
eyes there.
pick
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's got the 100-mile stare going on a bit, where she's
And-
just thinking about so much, which wouldn't normally be like a really, significant thing to point out, but someone drew it to bring that across.
Yeah.
Well,
That's not
especially
nothing.
given what's been going on with her this episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is definitely out of her comfort zone, which is really odd for us as an audience.
Yeah, because it's like the first time she hasn't been this like aloof femme fatale, like in control, like thing. She's
Right.
out of her
Yeah,
element.
it humanizes her.
Yeah.
So David used the Sandevistan to get back to the vehicle, and I hope I said that right.
You
And-
did.
You got it
You
right.
just got to
It was-
blow through it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Suck on that, people. So he's back in the vehicle with her, and he's like, you could tell he's been part of the explosion.
He pulled a
like, I
rocket
love the
and took his arm.
See,
Yeah.
this is this right here is the moment that got real personal with me. And when something you watch, like you're consuming is entertainment, gets really personal with you when it hits you in your own feels. Like you can, you take a moment in your life and you're trying to process it, reenact it in that scene, and it hits it like every single time. And it's not the action of it happening when you're like losing a loved one or whatever like that happens to people. It's how you're handling it afterwards, because while this is going on, you're numb. You don't realize what's really going on in front of you until you have to sit down and think for a second, like it's gonna hit you.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not-
always the when you have to go back to the normal, and then you realize normal ain't there anymore because
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's like, that one right there broke me. I was like, this was I agree. This is definitely a best episode of the series because it executed that beautifully.
I think the only thing it could have done to increase the punch just a little bit is they could have had a piece of thematic music, something really catchy to tie in the whole main David paradigm. I think could have elevated a bit more, because they have an excellent one with Lucy and David.
Yeah, I think for this one, the reality of the situation and just them, I mean, it's like a silent moment, right? There's
Yeah.
nothing,
Mhm.
despite the fact that in the real world everything is going to shit and there's all kinds of noise and all that. When they're there on the tarmac, it's just them. That silence actually helps convey the emotion that much more, right? It's a soft conversation, not boisterous or needs big swell music. It's got it can carry the emotion all on its own.
I think it could do that, and for sure it does. But I'm just saying, like, even like after that whole sort of climactic thing is achieved silently, I think just having that extra little bit of music tapped on the back, or maybe even just have it with the credit roll would have
that would have been the place to do it.
Yeah, don't wreck it.
Credit roll.
Don't wreck what they
don't wreck the scene, but catch up at the end, to the end credits and be like, this one was a little different.
Because I'm a big fan of tying up stuff with music.
I like that comment. The silence is David Deaf from The Explosion.
Well, then there would just be a lot of ringing.
Yeah, a lot of ringing.
Speak from experience. World War II was a bitch, was it not?
Yeah, well, it wasn't nearly like the First World War.
So here the episode ends pretty much right here, and you see the animation style again has changed, like the details, even the line
old,
work.
Man. It feels
the
old
line
to
work.
me.
Yeah, it's the line work, everything about it. It's amazing.
It almost looks like the backdrop for one of those like lo-fi synthwave chill things that you get on YouTube.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's got that total. It nailed the '80s cassette punk vibe totally.
Yeah,
and that's episode 6 there, folks.
Damn,
crazy.
Yep. Done incredibly well. I enjoyed it. One of the better episodes. I'm with you, Nas. The animation's awesome in this one.
And there's an interesting like setup and payoff too. So the beginning of the episode is Maine running to the end of the road, and then this thing ends at the end of his road.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that visual of that tarmac, and he's out there, and there's then there's nothing going on after that. That's where he is, and he keeps like revisiting it. It's like a little hint. You have a pretty good idea, once you kind of catch up to the manic, like first 5 minutes or so, and start to realize what's going on. You're like, I'm not sure Maine's making it out of this one, but upon when I finished it and then kind of saw it, and was like, oh, there's really a callback. I mean, they tell you at the beginning of it, the very first shot, that he's going to be at the end of the road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Maine.
All right. Let's get everyone's general thoughts of this episode. Let's start with Amateur. Go ahead, give us your thoughts there, bro.
Yeah, I think I'm with everyone else saying this is probably the best episode, at least the best episode I've seen so far. A lot of crazy storytelling going on in this, even though it's kind of light on the dialogue considering how much story's brought across, which is always a good thing. Show don't tell. Animation styles flipping back and forth between these new and old styles. We've come to sort of take it for granted in this series how they sort of like pick and choose what they detail based on like what they're trying to convey the most and the least, which is just really efficient, really, really good, because like it draws your eye properly and all that. But like in terms of this episode, I think this one sort of achieves this artistic high that I don't think the rest of the series does. And Maine, of course, being my favorite character and killing him off gives me a certain emotional attachment to it, which is, always a good thing. Not really a hell of a lot else to say. I guess if I rank it, I got to give this one like a 9 out of 10. It's just such a standout.
Wow.
It's just such a standout for me. So, yeah.
BAGFACE. What's up, brother? What are your thoughts?
I thought he was crying for a second.
Just internally, don't worry. This one like visually goes off the hardest for me. Story wise, it goes the hardest for me. You kind of get like your first major character deaths, which is pretty cool. There's like upon going through this episode again, I kind of wish that this series ended with this episode. Kind of like I'd almost be more, I don't know. I feel like I'd feel better about this series if this was the end we got, but alas, it continues. And yeah, I think next week I'll be unhappy, but this week I give it like a 9 out of 10. This episode fucking kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say in agreement, it's very climactic for the end of a second act.
Yeah, yeah, and
which is not normal.
I just don't feel like I feel like the third act tries to top it, but it just doesn't. There's just so much emotional weight. My camera hates me.
Yeah, mine was glitching out earlier.
I don't know what's going on. Anyways, 9 out of 10.
It's a nice camera too. It's a shame.
I know, man. I'm gonna get a new piece.
Yeah, I was looking to upgrade, and then I bought Magneto's helmet instead.
Nice. I want to do a shout out timescales. Thanks for jumping in there, brother. I appreciate it. Enjoy your time with the sister-in-law. So, Sammy, your general thoughts on this episode?
I think, yeah, this is the pinnacle of the series for me. I'm going to give this episode a 9. I think, the change in animation, just jumping back and forth to all these different styles of animation, the fast-paced editing, the tragedy of main story. I mean, it's just something that's inherently compelling to watch, the slow downfall of like a very strong character like that. Beautiful. I loved it. When I think back on this series, I'll probably dwell on this episode the most. So
interesting. Mr. Goodwin, sir.
I mean, this one is a masterclass in their every tool visually that they have to tell the story they deploy. The manic cuts, the switch from perspective, right? That you're seeing out of different people's eyes depending on what's going on. The silence on the dialogue, right? That they're not. There's no explanations. It's speaking in the moment. Fills it in. Again, they assume the audience is actually intelligent. Yay! I'm so happy for once I get something, that they actually give me some fucking credit. But it is every shot, the flow of how they do the shots, all of it is telling multiple levels of the story, and it really does demonstrate how gifted they are when they really decide, all right, we're going balls deep on showing you everything, right? We really have something to say at a lot of levels. This one is a really impressive. I'm with Sammy. This episode, I'll probably go back and watch a couple of times just because of the capabilities that they show, right? The confidence in the art that they're expressing with this. I think this is like a 9.5 for me.
Yeah.
Well said.
Zach, how are we doing there, bro? Do you need a little more time, or are you good to go?
I'm pretty much good. I mean, dude, this is probably like my best because I like this one. But
Okay.
do you want me to talk about the episode first, or
Yep. Give
okay.
us your take.
So this I watched this show twice, except this episode. As a kid, growing up, I love reading. I read my comic books, and I'm always rooting for the hero at the end of the day. Through impossible odds, no matter what, this character is going to come through and save somebody, save their own hide, beat the villain, whatever, through such trauma and a lot of suspense they just that builds up. That when I finish reading these books, I'm like, yes, let's go. Same thing with movies. And when I saw this episode, I was like, not many things I see where I'm like, damn, dude, I get punched in the gut with some of these, a character, that you're just about, you're getting to like, you're getting attached to them, and then boom, they're gone. Like that, just like that, just because. And through great storytelling, I didn't want to watch this one again. It was just too emotional. It's like an emotional roller coaster I got to go through again that I don't have to for the other episodes. So this is a 10 out of 10. Best episode of the show.
I love that you like it so much you can't watch it again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't feel this
it's
again.
an
It'll break
emotional
me.
ride.
I'm a father now. I gotta be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready to?
I am. I gotta
nail
tell you,
what-
bro. I am fucking baked. Fucking baked. Right, more so now than the other episodes, and I'm pretty shocked that I was able to get this done. Took me some time. I felt like I was super slow about it, but
Oh,
nice.
wow.
yeah,
Wow, that's a
I
good one.
figured, this I go with a simplistic thing.
Man.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah. The detail and the smoke is just,
Yeah.
Smoke is always a tricky thing to fucking
yeah.
ever
man,
attempt to draw.
And again, the shadow of the moon.
Yeah,
you know.
that's the one I'm
Yeah.
liking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is I pulled it off. Thank God.
Yeah. Well,
You don't mean
we'll
your
have-
pants, do you, Zach?
Do you need to
They were
borrow the
never
same
on. They were-
Devastan?
Yeah. You need to send Devastan for that.
Not get relaxed. I'm be like, yeah, all right.
Everyone's digging it
Lay
there.
back.
Everyone's digging it there, Zach. Yeah, bro. There will be a bidding war. I'm telling you. Yeah, there
No.
will be.
Yeah.
You think so? I mean, like, how many people like?
Dude.
I
Dude,
don't
that
know.
one you posted the other day, I'm not even sure what it was, but it's like some superhero comic book looking character in like a hallway with like guns and shit. It's being auctioned off. I'm like, holy shit, that's an amazing
that's
drawing.
Vaughn's piece. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
piece
not
we did
yours?
for-
It looks like it's yours though.
No, I did the black and white for Vaughn's thing he's using as a mini print where he wanted his villain, doing something. I was like, dude, we see a bunch of cool shit from characters all the time. Let me do this character in its own like layer domain, like something that really like an environmental piece. And he was like, okay. And I told him about that. And he's like, all right. And then I did that. And he's like, dude, fucking go for it. And then I finished it.
Dude, the perspective in it is literally perfect. Like it looks
Yeah.
amazing,
Mhm.
dude.
Thank you. It took
So
me
much detail.
4
It doesn't
days.
look cluttered.
It took me about 4 days actually for that one.
Yeah, that's fucking incredible work, man. I wish I could see it in color, but I know that's a tall ask for something like that. But if it was in color, I would honestly buy it like right now.
Yeah, yeah, he's got it digitally colored, but yeah, that's supposed to, what is that? That's supposed to be for his Phenomenova campaign that he's got on
Mhm.
From My Comic.
Yeah.
So like you can get it through that, but like for these things, I don't know, man. Like I just never seen bidding wars go that well personally from shows that I've watched. So I'm like, I'd like, hopefully, it goes well, but fingers crossed.
Nos is asking me, Gooch, what's it like to hold the girl's hand?
well,
Once you get past the cooties, it's not so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do public displays of affection. I never have, never will. So yeah, just general thoughts from me. I'm just gonna be echoing what you guys have said. So there's not really a point in me saying too much. So yeah, I would definitely give this a 9.5 out of 10 for something that's so fast. Like it's incredibly fast paced. This episode, where you feel like it's an 8-9 minute episode. And you're getting all this information, and you're like, you have to watch it a few times to gather the information and even capture some of like the one shot where Tanaka, I thought that they kind of Dorio kind of knocked him out and killed him, and I didn't realize like the overload. I like, because I'm like trying to watch everything and soak it in, and I was just like, wow. There's like all the other moments in this episode that are like so fast, like but it's so well done. And the rendering, the shadows, the animation styles, you're seeing multiple styles in this, and I think it's intentional. It's not like in Scavenger's Reign where we see different styles, where you're seeing more detail in certain spots and less detail in others, where it's a little flatter. And I think that's because of it being in the studio and certain artists doing, certain work here and there. This was intentional in this series where they're all together, plotting what they want for each scene. So I really dig that. But yeah, 9.5 out of 10 for me. So
yeah, I think the Scavenger's Reign, they use detail to like draw attention, right?
Yeah.
Every visual thing in this one, they're trying to tell story, not just draw out attention to a thing, right? The more you watch this, the deeper the rabbit hole goes, right? The more story is told in little visual things, right? You can watch this first time and kind of get it, but the more you watch this, the more it gets filled out.
Yeah. Adam says, I really enjoy having Zach cooking on these streams. Great energy, y'all.
I think Zach's the only one on this panel. Like, no offense, guys, but he's the one on this panel that brings the vibe way up. At least as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I do want to correct Adam. He's not cooking. He is baked, though. There's
He's baking.
there's a lot of baking.
We
Or fried.
we kind of talked him into it before the stream too.
All the cool kids are doing it, man.
What was that movie? I think it was Dazed and Confused. It's like, he's not baked, he's deep fried.
Yeah, deep fried. Yeah.
Later. Yeah, later.
Yeah.
Well, what do you quickly? What are you guys doing this week or this weekend? Going into next week, you guys want to promote anything? Is there anything amateur? You got anything going on?
Oh, sweet fuck all. Still plugging away at my next video, which is sort of rolling away from me as far as like scope, but maybe I'll just release it in parts. We'll see. But I'm gonna be back on here next week, obviously. I think I have something coming up with the Gourd King, but that's not till like mid-May. So I think we're doing either Tarzan or the Incredibles, but yeah, one or the other, some point in the middle of May. But yeah, that's all I got right now.
BAGFACE.
Got new Scene Invaders video be dropping tomorrow for a wild show, and then I'm gone back to the West for a little bit for a few days, so I'm not doing much until I'm back here next week, baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
So BAGFACE, you're here. You're the one that told me to watch Baby Reindeer.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I got other people tell me to watch it. So I watched this show, and let me tell you, you're right. This show is so fucked up. Like I posted today on Vex's post when she gave it a ranking after watching it. This character, it's based on it's a real life events. Like it's his story, and he actually acts it out, which is crazy that he would want to, dive back into something that's so traumatic for him. Literally, great recommendation. First of all, I did get teary-eyed, but then the dad in the train, when the dad's like, "Go get that tranny,"
I died. Yeah,
I died. Yeah, I laughed my ass off.
Man, his first phone call when the first scene, he's like, "I'll cut off your fucking legs."
Yeah,
oh, so fucking good, man.
Everything that comes out of his father's mouth is fucking gold.
Yeah,
I thought of Mike Myers from So I Married an Ex.
Oh, So I Married. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Excellent show. I can't believe like some of his choices, but like I said on Vex's post, once you start, once you're in the mud, you're just going to continue walking through it to get through the shit. And yeah, there was it's crazy. It's I really enjoyed it. Now for the people that are going to be, well, it's he's gay, he's bi, he's with a trans.
I resent that. It's well.
I don't
written,
give a
so
shit.
Fuck off.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. It's a really, really well done series. I enjoyed it. I'm one of those people. I don't give a shit about that stuff. Everyone has their own choice to do whatever wants. If as long as you're good to people and you're respectful and stuff like that, I don't care. It's not in your face. That's the thing about it.
Well, it's the problem that you have with like most stuff where there's forced. Here, let me check off the boxes or whatever.
Well, it's not forced here anywhere.
Right, you're obsessing about the wrapping paper. Nobody fucking cares about the wrapping paper. Let me see what the hell the present is on the inside, right?
Yeah.
And so when you have good characters, you open up and you're like, oh my God, this is great. The wrapping paper is irrelevant. The character is interesting.
It's funny because I feel like I like that show for the reason I don't enjoy this show as much, which is like
hope at the end of the fucking tunnel. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a story of him like overcoming the like norms of society in a way, I guess. Like the conclusion of the show is essentially him realizing he like enabled this terrible thing to happen, and he like takes responsibility for it. And in a society and in a time where like that's not a thing that would ever be spoken out of someone's mouth, which is like, oh, that bad thing that happened to you that someone else did to you. Well, let me tell you, you're kind of a person that like put yourself in that position, which is like fucked up to like
the purity of victim where you were a victim, like some of your choices. Again, it doesn't justify somebody victimizing you, but there are choices you can make. Again, I should be able to walk anywhere with $100 bills hanging out of my pockets. However, as a sane human being, I know there's certain areas I might want to go ahead and leave that shit at home.
Yeah. And I just love it's a very human show.
Yeah.
And it really attracted me for that reason. It's like the empathy of real humans.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you're damn right. Cause like, it's not woke. It's not anti-woke. It's almost like both of these schools of thought are dog shit. Here's what reality actually is. And here's how humans who fit in whatever intersectional group react to trauma or react to bad situations. And it's played out realistically, which is, that's all we ask for.
They're humans reacting to things that happen to humans. They're also this other thing, which is, again, the human thing is the most important thing.
Yeah, but the problem a lot of people will have is it's almost like a red flag when there's like a trans character or the main character's in a gay relationship or whatever. They're always like, oh, it's going to be bad. That's a lot of times it can be, but
that's the problem with the forced. Here, let me make sure I'm checking boxes or whatever, right? That you train people that because again we're kind of pattern matching people, systems.
Yes,
we see but we have a finite amount of time, and we're not going to watch everything because we got other shit we need to do. But when you see that the backlash now is, oh, I don't want to see anything with this because I know it's going to be forced, whatever. You may be wrong, but the fact is that now 90% of the time for Hollywood stuff, that's a good, you can play those odds and you'd be right that this is just going to be, forced character, that there's no real character. It's just all wrapping paper and there's nothing inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the danger of this, is that you actually cause a backlash where over time people want to see less of they're gay. Okay. Well, then I'm out. Right. Whereas before it was, they're gay, but the character, that's what I'm interested in. Right. Yeah. I think that when you force that kind of one-dimensional representation, the people that you claim to be championing are going to be the ones that suffer the most.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in an attempt to normalize things through force in Hollywood, they've actually just trained people to hate.
Well, again, because you're doing it incompetently.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's an argument that some of these characters could be more intriguing if they were just done well. It's just
again, if you would do things competently, everything else kind of fits in. That's why when everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's ESG and this," whatever. Look, these are fig leaves to hide incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I can't write worth a shit, but if I check the boxes, then you can't criticize me or you're an istophobe or whatever. And it was like, you're telling me that you don't actually have any talent.
Yep.
Anyway, moving.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch it. I just don't feel like being emotionally crippled anytime soon.
It's a gut. Well, I don't know where you lie with anxiety and stuff like that. Like some people, like for me, like like anxiety didn't exist when we were young. It's like suck it up and you gotta
Rub some dirt
push
in it.
yeah, push forward, right? But like with the concussions and everything that's happened through my life, the anxiety just comes from the I wouldn't even say it's not even depression, but it's more of I get panicky and I my mind starts thinking of things that are not, that I have to constantly tell my brain that's not true, and that's where the kind of like the anxiety and stuff comes from. So I got to push through that. So and I know that, but yeah, it's worth a watch. I definitely would give it a watch because you're kind of like, what the fuck, like
it's worth it.
I know I'll watch it eventually, but
I was very much questioning everything about halfway through.
Yeah,
I wasn't really sold on it yet. I'm just like, there's this guy who's really failing at being a comedian and walking into every type of bullshit like this. What's going on? And then like by the end of Act 2 or like the beginning of Act 3, I guess you could call it, where he starts becoming better and he's like overcoming it, and it's just like, this is actually fucking incredible. Like, what is happening?
Well, it's that Stockholm syndrome, right?
Like by the end of the show, you're just celebrating everything with this character, and it's just like ends in such a good place. And you're just like, fuck, man, what a show! Like, especially in today's day and age, where you have to like weave and bob through all these fucking weird little rules we've made for ourselves. Just to watch something do really well at it is nice. It's definitely worth a watch.
Nos, you're the best. So Sammy, what do you got coming up this week?
I'm gonna be on Ego's toy stream tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh shit, talking about toys.
And well, hopefully. And then I'm gonna be on a music chat Sunday. What is it? Reality based.
Oh, Ryan Roger, yeah.
Yeah, he's interesting guy. And then we're gonna be back on our regular schedule, Scavengers Reign Tuesday. Back here Thursday for Cyberpunk, and then before that I'll be on Roman's channel. We're reviewing Empire Records. So
nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
I know.
Empire Records. Are you talking about the show that talks about Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis, Wilson Pickett, and
No.
I
was thinking of something else.
Is it Sun Records?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's Sun Records.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Empire Records is it's a watch. I haven't seen it in a couple years, so I'm looking forward to revisiting it. So,
well, Nos has a question for where the fuck did Sammy come from?
Well, his mom tried to give birth and then sucked him back in, and then second time. He's got a very similar origin story to Hunter J. For some reason.
He's retired from being Matt Damon's stunt double.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Matt Damon.
I get that all the time. Actually,
You fucking look and sound like him. So
fat Matt Damon. I get Fat Damon.
Oh, rip!
I'm very disappointed in myself that I did not come up with that. I'm just
Man, I gotta say though, I loved you in The Martian, dude. It's one of my favorite movies.
Thank you.
Yeah, watching you trying not to throw up while stirring shit.
Yeah.
And you could get a job as a stand-in though, for real. You know,
You could. That's the thing.
Good
That is
pay,
a
dude.
real
That's pretty
thing.
easy.
I'll take it.
Mr. Goodwin, where are you going to be the next week?
Oh, so I got B-sides tomorrow night, and then Saturday I'll be on Brownie's Attack of the Clones stream. That's a 12-hour monster, so I'm not entirely sure which,
May the 4th. Yeah.
which slot I'll be in.
Stream?
Yeah. He promised a 12-hour Attack of the Clones stream if he hit 3,000 subs. He's now at like 4.1 thousand. He's finally getting around to.
Sorry, not the show, The Clone Wars.
No, Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. Is there
Oh my
that much
God.
to talk about?
Yes, absolutely.
Go look at the
Absolutely.
Phantom Menace coverage that he
Yeah.
did. I bet there's at
Jesus
least 12
Christ.
hours on that. Yeah.
You've officially put more thought into those films than George Lucas has. So
Well, to be fair, I'm sure that Liam's dong will get mentioned. Queefing will come up at one point or another.
I didn't even know what a queef was until I met you.
All right, it's important to educate.
It's bringing awareness.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking dead right now.
We're doing all this
Zach-
for your benefit, Zach. We're just
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
because we know how baked you are. We haven't even been live for like an hour.
Only
Got
been 20
stream
minutes.
ended. You didn't even notice it. It was
You're
fine.
actually
What are you
sitting
doing
in
in
a
my
field.
basement?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, I'm just having ice cream. See?
Oh, I'm shocked.
Jesus Christ.
God, he's baked and pregnant.
You teleported.
Zach, you'll be here next Tuesday and Thursday. I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll be here. You'll be.
You got to
somewhere.
text him
Well,
again
physically,
tomorrow. He's gonna
physically he'll
forget.
be here. Yes.
Dude is good.
And everyone, and again, everyone.
Calling him Betty Crocker with all that bake.
Getting a contact buzz.
He'll be auctioning off all the artwork once the series is done. So that includes Arcane, the Blue Scavenger's Reign, and Cyberpunk Edgerunners. So there's a lot of artwork there. So if you want one of those pieces, save up your money. So it'll be a lot of fun. We'll enjoy that. I'm thinking we might have to do a baby reindeer review there.
Oh.
Might have to,
You're singing the song of Bag's people there, right? He's
Yep.
in, man. He is
Yeah.
in.
I can talk about that show for days.
yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll have to discuss in the back room. But anyway, coming up on Diabolical Souls Presents, we'll be back here next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9:00 Eastern for Scavenger's Reign, 8:00 Eastern for next Wednesday. I have someone on next Wednesday promoting their book. Let me just take a quick look here. Next week will be Mike Barron. I have Mike Barron next week. Legend comic book artist, writer. The guy he did Punisher. He's done, you name it. He's done a ton of books, and he's got his own book. He's got Scourge that's out right now. He just had Florida Man. He's got this guy's up there. So excited to have that. So Mike Barron will be here, and then Thursday will be Cyberpunk Edgerunners again. So after these two are done, Scavenger's Reign and Cyberpunk Edgerunners, we're going to be doing Invincible and X-Men 97. Look forward to that. Later, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I think the end of May I'm going to start doing. I don't know if I want to do interviews anymore, but I think it all depends. But I want to do at least a animated movie review, and I think Heavy Metal will be the first one we do, and then we'll do Ghost in the Shell and Akira. So look forward to doing that. And
Are those going to be multi-episode? I mean, it's going to be hard to do a single stream with some of those.
No, it's just going to be like Heavy Metal one night, and then on to the next.
No,
movie.
but I mean, like Heavy Metal, a single stream on Heavy Metal, that thing could go for hours.
Yeah, might want to stretch.
Might
it
want
to
to
two parts.
do okay, we'll call it a 2-hour stream, and you cover as much as you do, and then the next week do the next.
Yeah,
section.
otherwise we'll be
Yeah,
fucking
that might be
rifling
good,
through it.
especially for like Akira.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Kira goes to the shell. Okay, well that's a 12-hour stream, so we got that going.
Yeah, okay, well then we'll work that in. That could work.
We'll
and
see
then,
how the first episode goes, and we'll go.
We just
from
did
there.
2 hours on 27 minutes, so
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm also thinking about like wizards and fire and ice and all that kind of stuff too. So
Fire and Ice.
yeah. Even Fritz the Cat would be a good one.
Fritz the
yeah.
Cat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be fucking down. Then we got to do
I
Lord of the
love
Rings right after.
Fritz the Cat.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, Bakshi's Lord of the Rings. So
Yeah, I
look
love that
forward
film.
look forward to doing all that in the future. Everyone, I I always like mention this at the end of my shows, not so much in my anime shows, but definitely my interviews. If you're ever in the Winnipeg area, go check out Galaxy Comics on Henderson Highway. My good friend Jeremy, he's the owner. He's got everything there. Go check it out. If he doesn't have it, he'll get it for you. And of course, if you're feeling like you have no one, you're feeling low, you're just like feeling really down and weak, please talk to someone. Reach out to someone. You can text 988. They'll talk to you, get the help that you need, because we're not here for a long time. So again, get the help you need, because we want you here on this earth, lovely earth. So everyone take care. We'll see you guys next week. And everyone take care. Ciao.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?